Love and respect.
Officers
Welcome.
dealing from crisis to crisis to crisis need to be able to check in, get right before they go back and engage the public. We talked about changing.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Love and respect. Nah, I'm just chilling, bro.
Standard.
Vibing.
We talked about making the sanctity of life an essential principle, which Mayor Hodges did when she was the mayor. We made
following up all this Minnesota stuff, man.
We're recommending that be essential.
Hoping that they get an arrest and shit, man. On them officers.
You cannot just say it's not me. You've got to do something about it. We came up with a number of other principles that I think are really helpful, very useful, involving training, reform at the post board, and a number of things. And I think that now
you gotta go to training and shit.
There's a need to further the effort. I will say that I think that looking at systemic pattern and practice problems in Minneapolis Police Department is an appropriate conversation at this time. I think that we need to really do some deep diving and make sure that our law enforcement professionals really do and really are serving the public, the whole public. So I will say that I hope that our state legislature takes up some of the initiatives that we have in there. The academic community will take up some of it. Training communities will take up some of it. I mean, one of the recommendations was a joint or dual response when there are chemical or mental health crises going on, so that it's not just officers that don't have the training on how to deal with somebody who's in that situation. So that's a priority, and I'll hand it to Commissioner Harrington.
General Ellison covered really most of the points. The one other point that I will bring in is that this group was very much based out of community. We brought in folks from a variety of different diverse and geographic
Right.
We brought in folks from the disability community to make sure that all kinds of voices were heard. And one of the voices that I heard most clearly was the need for community healing and community health. And so one of the recommendations that we have put forward, we still think it was important before, but I've never seen it as acutely as important as it is right now, is for community healing. The question that we asked and that I ask here with you is, how does the community recover when its heart has been ripped out?
Oh, bingo. Bingo. Oh, come on now. Come on, what kind of bullshit is that? Ah, man. You see that shit? That's some bullshit right there. That shit says live and shit. That shit's still rolling. That shit said, man, he hit it right on the motherfucking head and shit, man. This shit. Man. You guys saw that and shit, man. Yeah, because he hit it right on the motherfucking nail and shit, man. He hit it. Man, what happened? What the fuck? That shit was some powerful shit, and that shit just went boom. You see that shit? Like, man, hold on. Take that shit off and shit, man. Take that shit off. Everybody at home fucking like, man. He spoke our words and shit, man. He took our words right out of our mouth and shit, man. Yeah, like, what the fuck happened and shit, man? Let's see if I can find another stream somewhere and shit, man. That's some bogus shit, man. Tim is announcing that the state responds as fire looting. Let me see.
Understand what's at stake here and getting back to the focus of George Floyd and our community issues. That tonight needs to be different. And when I say that, it needs to be different in the questions you're asking. I'm stepping into that brief.
What a fucking... Sorry for the commercial, guys. This fucking shit's stupid. Need a green screen of that shit. I mean, I need a picture for my green screen of that shit. That looks tight. Man, I had to like, yeah, the truth hurts, right? Man, bro, that shit fucking fucked me up and shit, man. Like, dude was speaking some truth and shit, man, and that shit just shuts off and shit, man. They don't want us speaking like that, man. What do they do all day? Build that shit or what? Sorry, just spit some shit out. Hey, love and respect to all my YouTubers, man. Make sure you guys follow me. Hey, what up, Angel? How you doing, man? Love and respect. I'm about to get off right now and shit. Hell yeah, what are you up to? Yeah, man, I had to switch the vibes for a little bit and shit, man. Them are clouds. What do you guys think the reasons of clouds were and shit, man? I feel like clouds were just meant to block whatever the fuck we're not able to see or aren't supposed to see shit. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes we have like clear blue skies and shit. You know what I mean? But like, why do you think we have clouds? That's crazy. Smoking, hell yeah, smoking a bowl. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm just chilling right now and shit. Fucking, mad love and respect everybody at Joe Victor Hernandez. Shouts out to you guys, man. I'm gonna try to do another video right now. I'm gonna leave for right now, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna leave Joe Victor Hernandez now. Find me on Smoke Nation Worldwide PLURL. What the fuck is it at? All right here. Hell yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yo, man, love and respect everybody, man. Cheers, blaze it up, put it in rotation. Thank you very much for tuning in and vibing with us. Wally World. Guys. That shit is dope right there. Hold on, I'm gonna share this video out real fast, guys. Mad love and respect to everybody that tunes in, everybody that vibes out with us. Yo, what up, everybody? Love and respect, man. Shouts out to everybody that's tuning in. What's up, Christine? How you doing, man? Love and respect. What you up to, my sister? We're right here looking at space, literally. I don't know if it's a loop. It looks like he keeps on doing the same shit over and over. I'm just trying to share the page out real quick. Tomorrow, SpaceX is supposed to take off and shit, man, to the space station and shit tomorrow. It looks like he keeps on doing the same shit over and over. Hell yeah, what's everybody doing, man? How's everybody feeling? I'll put another video on right now.
Reach, and this is the responsibility of the states responding. Will
we just put Minnesota. Just put Minnesota news.
And Freeman has outlined that he wants us to follow in terms of a officer-involved death case. So we are following the protocols that were established. We continue to follow those protocols. We continue to meet with the county attorney. We continue to meet with the FBI, with the U.S. attorney, as we continue to seek justice and to see what can we do and what are we allowed to do.
Right.
In bringing this case to a conclusion.
Question for General Jensen. Quick one. Do the guardsmen have authority to arrest and detain?
No, we do not have that authority. That's why typically in our missions we'll always have a law enforcement officer with us. So we have that support immediately available. But no, we don't.
Senator, you talked a lot about aspirations and plans here. Can you stand here right now and assure Minnesotans that we're not going to see a repeat of the unrest last night, tonight, or for the rest of the weekend?
I can't assure you, but the responsibility to ensure it doesn't happen falls upon me, and I will do everything in my power to do that.
In his power.
As I said, I spent myself 24 years in the National Guard. I'm surrounded by good people. We're pulling the assets in. I'm going to need the help of Minnesotans, like we do on a lot of this. I'm going to need folks to cooperate to get this through. I want to acknowledge again.
No, you want the radicals to come out and shit and be real patriotic people and shit, man. You know what I mean?
Question to you on this, Peter, because it was an excellent question, asking about the charges and things. For those of you who don't, I am not an attorney. I listen.
The ones
to them,
that would come out
and,
would probably be fucking, you know.
They're very concerned that the governor has to be very careful about what they say about
flag wearing.
We want to make sure everybody gets justice if it gets done. But the questions that Minnesotans and the outrage they're feeling, I'm feeling them. It is taking all of my willpower to maintain that point of being asked. But the way I'm able to get them justice is by making sure that I put things in place that civil order is maintained, that we make it clear that there is an expectation that justice is moved forward. And as Attorney General Ellison says, this is a point in time that we cannot forget. Cannot forget George. We cannot forget the aftermath of this as if we would, but we have to get back to that point of what caused this all to happen and start working on that. So the anger and the frustration and the wondering why this is a community that year after year, decade after decade, and generation after generation hears this. So right now, I know there's a lot of folks out there listening that their answer should be, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll
Yeah.
believe it when justice is carried out. I'll believe it when equity actually means something.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when the policies change. I'll believe it when my child gets the same education as your child and that color didn't matter. So I get it right now. We're asking an awful lot to be based on faith. That has not panned out. But I do want to say, this is a state that I think we are coming to grips with the good that we have and that's not there. But it's always been about trying to strive to be better, trying to do more. I'm not trying to sugarcoat this. Just much like COVID-19, I've had to stand in front of you and tell you that it's going to get worse before it gets better. This is not going to be an easy journey. But the one thing that we have to ensure that civil order is maintained, so those changes.
Yo, what up, Joe Sanchez? How you doing?
None of us can live in a society where roving bands go unchecked and do what they want to do, ruin property. And that the expectation is, where are the police? Where are the police? And this is the conundrum. Where are the police in the first place got us in this situation Monday night? And where are the police last night? And I heard from numerous people, I'm super nervous about the National Guard being brought in there. It's a flashpoint. This is a community. I understand that. I heard from some of those same people at 2 o'clock with a different tone. Where's the National Guard? Where is the National Guard? So over these next 24 to 48 hours.
Nah, you were talking to people that wanted to see him. Where the fuck they at?
And I want to talk to those mayors who are up 24/7.
What up, PJ? How you doing?
St. Paul. It's not about calling out someone on lack of leadership. It's about an issue as it developed and all of us figuring out how we get there. This is volatile. This has been building for decades. This flashpoint came to us, and now what are we going to do about it? And it happened in the middle of an unprecedented global pandemic.
Right.
So it gives us a chance. We're going to get to pick our paths very quickly here. How are we going to be seen by the world in the coming days? How are we going to be seen after that? How are we going to respond to one another? And then what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
And again, if I were everybody in these communities listening, I'd say, well, I'm going to believe it when I see it. So the first task at hand is get civil control back, get justice moving quickly and fairly, and start talking about together, how do we rebuild? How do we rebuild trust in the police? How do we rebuild those stores? How do we rebuild a society?
Taxpayers, taxpayers' money, fucking taxpayers' money.
That sees us.
I mean,
so
you already got us on the
things,
fucking web and shit. We're the one that's gonna put
this is what they're seeing.
money in and
we
shit.
Need to take a hard look.
We destroyed it. We built it back up.
We change that. So I want to thank you all again. I'm going to close because of the importance I've said with the press. Deepest apologies to the reporters that were out there. Expectations that again, that cannot happen. We will do our best today, and I would ask all of you, as the ongoing mission to make sure that we have peace and security today, is making sure that story is told. I'm asking our team to make sure that press credentials, the ability to move you and protect your safety needs to be out there so this is covered. Please let us know quickly on that. Please make sure that is happening. Please show the world everything that's happening here through that lens of professional journalists who ask the questions you're asking today. So thank you.
Yo, what up, Israel? How you doing, bro? Hell yeah, light them up, bro. Light them up. People were being civil and shit, man. It's the police that was not being civil. That's why the riots happened. There's somebody that has like 4 hours of peaceful protesting and shit, man, till the fucking cops fucking do what they did and shit, man, you know? They got us set up to lose. Set up to lose. Let me play this shit. They got us set up to lose. Set up to lose.
Got it set up to lose. Them crackers wanna lay us down. They got it set up to lose.
Here we go, baby. What happened right here? They might not be doing shit. Let me see.
Number
one news choice. This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live, the 24/7 streaming news source from ABC News. Breaking news, live events, streaming nonstop. Original breakthrough storytelling from ABC News, National Geographic.
Hell yeah, man. Light that bitch up, man. How you doing, Israel? Mad love and respect, bro. What you got going on?
ABC News Live, streaming everywhere, right to you.
ABC News Live. It's that easy to go there.
Nah, I don't listen to King Lil G. I listen to some music, but I don't really listen to music, bro. I don't really listen to artists just like that. Yeah, I really don't listen to artists just like that.
Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning, sunshine. Waiting for you. Say good morning.
Ain't nobody got time for that shit. Oh, let's see right here. The live event has ended. All right, SpaceX gets launched.
It's been a while since we've seen you, but when we come back together, you'll see we've emerged better because we are resilient.
Yeah, SpaceX is supposed to launch tomorrow and shit, man.
Tonight, Nightline, helping you through this crisis. The good information you need at the end of the day. Nightline tonight at 11:35, 10:35 Central on ABC.
ABC News.
A model that has been cited by the White House now projects 132,000 deaths in the U.S. by August, 11,000 fewer than recently predicted. But today, the focus in most states is getting back to business.
New freedoms in California.
We made modifications on retail, so it's no longer curbside pickup.
The governor easing restrictions, allowing in-person shopping and haircuts in most counties with precautions. Outside New York City, Long Island begins reopening today, one day after a slow reopening in the nearby town of New Rochelle, where the first containment zone was established nearly 2 months ago.
I have 2 children. They gotta eat. We still have bills and nothing changed.
And now the first definitive timeline for the return of a pro sports league.
We will not do anything until we are assured that it is safe and prudent to do so.
The NHL announcing plans to start the season this summer, playing all games in 2 so-called
Oh yeah, what's your guys' favorite sport?
Yet to be chosen, and reducing the number of teams that will play. This morning, at least 14 states are now seeing a growing number of COVID-19 cases, including Alabama.
Oh, damn.
2 counties outside of the state capital, Montgomery, are among the fastest growing hotspots in the country.
Growing outrage in Minneapolis over the death of a black man in police custody.
That shit was hot.
Thousands of demonstrators taking to the streets, blocking intersections as police use tear gas to push back the crowds.
Oh, man.
Some people were seen throwing objects back at officers, vandalizing a police vehicle, and smashing
Yeah, I had a
the front
few of
window
them.
of a police precinct. So many others marching.
Yeah, I had a few of them.
Chanting, "I can't breathe," while demanding justice for George Floyd.
That shit just fell right now, though. It was by my computer, by the fan. That shit blows out hot air and shit.
The final moments of Floyd's life Monday night. The 46-year-old was seen on the ground in handcuffs with a police officer's knee on his neck.
His nose is bleeding.
About 5 minutes into the video, Floyd appears to lose consciousness. EMTs arrive on the scene and check for a pulse while the officer's knee remains on his neck. An ambulance then takes Floyd to the hospital where he's pronounced dead. Police say Floyd was unarmed and suspected
Look,
of
he
trying
fell
to
right here. Look, he
force
fell right
check
here.
the
Look at.
store, while appearing to be
Oh,
under the
they-
influence of alcohol or drugs. Adding Floyd resisted officers.
No, he
They
didn't.
handcuffed him and noted he appeared to be suffering medical distress. The FBI is investigating the case, and 4 police officers involved in the incident have been fired.
That's not enough, though.
Former Vice President Joe Biden, but heads over wearing a mask after Biden wore one in public Monday, something the president has yet to do.
He was standing outside with his wife, perfect conditions, perfect weather. They're inside, they don't wear masks, and so I thought it was very unusual that he had one on.
He's a fool, an absolute fool to talk that way.
I mean, every leading doc in the world is saying we should wear a mask when you're in a crowd. This macho stuff for a guy, well, I shouldn't get going, but it just is, it's cost people's lives.
The president stepping up his attacks on
But
North
that's
Carolina,
true and shit,
slamming the
though.
governor for possible restrictions on this summer's Republican National Convention.
We have a governor that doesn't want to open up the state.
I will say that it's okay for political conventions to be political, but pandemic response cannot be.
The president now giving North
Remember
Carolina
that shit, bro?
1 week to decide
Hell
whether
yeah.
convention plans can move forward.
Straight blazing,
In the
fool.
meantime, Florida and Georgia are now offering to host the event. All this while Democrats take a very different path.
Yeah,
They're
this one
considering
lasted me a couple of days, like a
virtual
couple of weeks and
convention.
shit, man.
Forecasters say there's a 60% chance that the weather will be good enough for today's historic launch at Kennedy Space Center. It will be the first time in a decade that astronauts will head into space from U.S. soil.
Oh, they're gonna launch today? You guys know that rocket is able to land itself or some shit like that?
Astronauts inside. NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley will be on board.
I think continuing to push into space challenges us as Americans, challenges us as scientists and engineers, and I think that continued push is.
We haven't sent anybody up since 2011 or something like
A
that.
decade that American astronauts will be free from paying another country for a ticket to space. Until now, the only way to get to the space station was to pay Russia at a price tag of nearly $90 million.
This is huge.
90
It is huge for
million.
NASA. It is huge for our country.
Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z with your all-important rocket launch forecast. I've actually been in touch with the lead forecasters at the
Damn,
US,
Russia could fucking launch us to
they are
space for $90 million. You see that shit?
That's the number one reason that launches get scrubbed in general. And here's what we have to deal
Right,
with.
right. Hell yeah,
Try to
fool.
become a tropical storm, potentially. Bertha, it's putting a bunch of the moisture, the heaviest moisture, up into South Carolina, North Carolina. and
Hell
Virginia.
yeah, what's up in Mexico, bro? Everything good?
Speeder bands. There are still scattered storms. We stopped the clock right at launch time. And unfortunately, both of the short-term models that we run on have those scattered storms. Now, I have to tell you, even if it had some gusty winds, it looks like most of the other parameters will be met. I'm most concerned about the electrical charge potential in the area because it doesn't even have to be cloud to ground lightning. What I learned from those forecasters is that back in 1987, they figured out pretty quickly after the Atlas Centaur 67 had a major failure. After 49 seconds after they launched, it created something called trigger lightning, where the rocket and the exhaust itself going through the atmosphere meets with another charge that was left over, and they make lightning. There was major failure, and that was a teachable moment, they said, and that's something that they're very careful about. So going into this afternoon, I think any
Yeah, that's what I have right now.
any thunderstorm leftover would even be a problem, and we may end up seeing this get rescheduled. And if so, it would be on Saturday.
That's crazy.
The Book of Mormon has honestly changed my life. Just reading it, it has brought me so much peace and
Hey, mad love, respect everybody, man.
what
I'm
was
skipping
missing
this
from
shit
my
right
life
now.
is a relationship with God. So I opened the Book of Mormon and I read it. And I remember
I give two flying shits. The Book of Mormons?
2020 is certainly a year for the history books, in many cases, for all the wrong reasons. But tomorrow has the potential to be a monumental moment, a new era. in
Stores are
space
closed
flight.
still?
Weather permitting, we could see 2 astronauts lift off from American soil for the first time in nearly a decade, this time aboard a privately owned and operated spaceship. And if you can imagine, space launches are difficult under the best of circumstances. Now imagine the risks during a pandemic. A historic launch with renewed meaning during this tumultuous time. Our Clayton Sandell leads us off.
Ignition and liftoff of the Falcon 9 to the space station on the first commercial launch from Kennedy Space Center's historic at 39A.
In 2020, the race to space is more crowded than ever.
SpaceX, man.
Rocket ships and space stations, humans and robots, governments and billionaires, all reaching for the stars.
It's true, though. The Space Army, Space Force is coming.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things.
Not because they are hard. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Superpowers. It's also the pursuit of the super rich.
Together, we can make space accessible in a way that has only been dreamt of before now.
On Launchpad 39A at the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida, America's
Nah, everything's good. Everything's open, bro.
ready to blast off.
Everything's normal.
SpaceX, the company founded by Tesla CEO Elon Musk, plans to launch its Dragon space capsule with 2 NASA astronauts inside.
That's tight.
The mission's goal is to demonstrate that a private company like SpaceX can deliver astronauts to the International Space Station and get them home safely. NASA astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley will be on board.
I think continuing to push into space challenges us as Americans, challenges us as scientists and engineers, and I think that continued push is important.
If the mission succeeds, American astronauts will not only be free of Earth's gravity, for the first time in nearly a decade, they'll be free from paying Russia for a ticket to space.
Hurley now deploying the drag chute. The space shuttle pulls into port for the last time. Its voyage at an end.
When Hurley landed the final space shuttle flight in 2011, America's ability to launch its own astronauts into space was history.
It's certainly an honor to be part of it.
That's crazy, huh?
Part of the end of the shuttle program and the start of this program, and just want to do our best to be successful on this mission, because there's just been so many people that have worked so hard to get us to this point.
The U.S. could only get a ride to the International Space Station from Russia, which keeps raising the price of a single ticket, now nearly $90 million. But this time, Hurley and Behnken are trading Russian capsules for a modern ride, polished interiors, high-tech seats, and touchscreen controls.
The way that the technology has developed since Apollo, since the 50 years that it has evolved, all those things are obviously state of the art relative to even what we flew on shuttle.
What hasn't changed is that spaceflight is risky.
It was over in an unbelievable microsecond. The flames enveloped Apollo 1. The crewmen never had a chance.
Over the decades, great achievements came with great tragedy.
Challenger, go with throttle up. Go with throttle up. And then it happened.
SpaceX has had its own setbacks, though none of them fatal. In 2016, another rocket blew up on the pad.
Yeah.
Then just over a year ago, an explosion destroyed an empty SpaceX Dragon capsule, just like the one that will carry Behnken and Hurley. The Challenger disaster halted shuttle launches for nearly 3 years, but experts say unlike governments, private companies like SpaceX can work quickly to get back on track, free of too much government red tape.
Elon is the shit, man.
Thing used to be a bad word because they really wanted the government.
That's what's up, bro. Same here, bro. I just been kicking it, bro. Doing these videos and shit, man.
Now they're realizing that the
I'll be going back to work like in July or August.
Stuff, has some newer
I'm going back to 99.
SpaceX lost the capsule that was supposed to carry these guys last year. Look how fast they fixed it, because it was designed like any commercial product, which these things are, to be fixed because you need to sell these things, and you're not going to sell something that doesn't work.
SpaceX is poised to beat one competitor with a century of aerospace experience, Boeing. Last December, Boeing's Starliner was launched on a test flight. It was supposed to dock at the International Space Station, but a technical glitch forced the mission to be called off. Boeing says before Starliner carries any astronauts, it'll get another test flight. And experts say SpaceX will get bragging rights.
Now there's a competition. Boeing's, may lose this capture the flag thing. And I don't think they like that. And I think they're probably going to get more creative, which is a good thing.
Elon Musk isn't the only billionaire looking skyward. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has Blue Origin. The company is developing a moon lander, but first hopes to offer rides to tourists. Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic is selling tickets to space and says demand is sky high. The cost of going weightless, $250,000. But on Monday, his other company, Virgin Orbit, launched a rocket from a 747 designed to send small satellites into Earth orbit. It failed. Aerospace giant Lockheed Martin is looking beyond Earth orbit, building and testing a new long-range vehicle called Orion. One of the keys to success in spaceflight is to test, and test some more. And that's what they do in this giant building here at Lockheed Martin, just outside of Denver. One of the things they can do is blast this spacecraft with sound waves to simulate the violent vibrations of a launch. They'll also test every single system. They want to make sure that if something goes wrong, it happens in here and not out there. Orion seats up to 4 in a capsule design that's a throwback to the 1960s.
Top here. Yeah, so way up on the top, you'll see what looks like a cone. A lot of folks will recognize that. It looks like Apollo, and the answer is yeah, it's a capsule, and that's
Hell yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Capsules are still the best. Capsules are still the best. The more we run our simulations, the more
That's tight. That's tight.
Those folks with the
make that money. Make that money.
on the chalkboard, we're right.
Orion is part of NASA's Artemis program, launched into space on the biggest rocket ever, called SLS. The mission? To fly astronauts, including the first women, to the moon by 2024.
Damn, I told you guys 2024 and shit, man. We're gonna have a woman in space and shit.
Where we're going to proceed as the human race, the compelling aspect of understanding who we are, where did we come from, and where are we going, and most importantly, are we alone? Those questions exist in outer space.
For travel beyond Earth, NASA plans to use an orbiting outpost called Gateway.
This is the concept for where the astronauts would live and work during the time that they're orbiting around the moon.
And why do you need it, though? Why not just fly from Earth, land on the moon, and do your thing?
Yeah, because this allows us to go anywhere on the moon. So the Gateway is actual mobile, so we can move it to other locations around the moon, so you could explore other pieces. If you go direct to the moon, you're going to a direct location, the South Pole, the equator, whatever. This allows you to do that, come back up here, collect and do some science with what you've collected, and then maybe move to a different location and then do some more.
Think of it as a pit stop in deep space. Can you show us around?
Yeah. So we have areas here, like a birthing area where people would rest or sleep. So if you looked up, you can see this is a treadmill for astronauts to be doing their exercise on.
You got a treadmill sort of on the ceiling here, but it could be anywhere.
Yeah. We're going to do a lot of experiments with growing food. As we move to places like Mars, you're not going to have the logistics to be constantly bringing food to the astronauts there, so they're going to have to be sustainable on their own.
Before humans go to Mars, which is planned for the mid-2030s, robot explorers will go first. The Perseverance rover is set to launch this summer. Part of its mission is to collect rock samples that for the first time will eventually be taken back to Earth. In January, we suited up to take a closer look at the mission inside the clean room at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. We've had to put on all of this protective gear so that hair, oil, makeup doesn't contaminate any of the spacecraft that they are assembling here. In fact, the air in this room gets cycled out 70 times every hour. You're not going to find cleaner air probably anywhere in Southern California.
Why is 2020 the year that everybody wants to go to Mars? Earth and Mars are in different orbits, and so once every 2 years they align.
Yeah,
so
I had you, bro, for sure.
Get there in an efficient way, and so then this rover in particular is going to.
I'm gonna be right back. Hold on.
That we want to bring.
We're gonna lose everything.
And look for signs.
All right, I'm back, guys. I'm gonna see you guys later and shit, man. I'm gonna see you guys later. I love you guys, man. Hey, Israel, I'll check y'all later, bro. My love and respect.